Feminists say they're pro-woman, but only if those women come in line with feminism's ideological construct. But let's add another layer of feminist intolerance to the already multi-layered blanket of hypocrisy by adding another caveat. Even if you do line up with feminism's ideological perspective, by labeling them the way they label themselves, if you're not a part of their leftist group, prepare to feel the full force of feminism's insanity as it rains down upon your head. Here's a quick look at their blaring hypocrisy. It's okay when the feminist media says that today's feminism stands for abortion, but not when Kellyanne Conway says it. Recently, MSNBC correspondent Ari Melber, filling in for Lawrence O'Donnell on The Last Word, invited panelists to discuss, or rather attack, Conway for her recent comments on feminism. All three, CBS News Sunday Morning contributor Nancy Giles, Fordham University Associate Professor Christina Greer, and Daily Beast senior editor Erin Gloria Ryan, criticized Conway for linking feminism with abortion. Imagine that! What the hell were you thinking, Kellyanne? Feminism and abortion don't mix. Everybody knows that. Don't they? Oh wait, that's right. Feminists are all about abortion. To begin the Conway bashing segment, Melber played a clip of the White House counselor talking about feminism at CPAC last week.
Well, I believe this generation, particularly the younger people, don't really like labels, and we're not necessarily joiners or liking to label ourselves, and that's great in its own right. So I don't know about calling yourself a feminist. I also, for me, it's difficult for me to call myself a feminist in the classic sense because it seems to be very anti-male, and it certainly is very pro-abortion in this context, and I'm neither anti-male or pro-abortion.
Greer was the first to make fun of Conway.
What trip to Crazyville are we taking right now? I think I would tell everyone to please read Erin's piece in the New York Times, which contextualizes this nonsense, but also, when did becoming a feminism is about equity, right? And so when did this become about not being for abortion?
It's hard to believe that Greer is even being serious here. Conway is saying that classic feminism is very pro-abortion. Greer knows this to be true, and every panelist knows this to be true. If Greer really disagreed with Conway, she should have questioned her fellow panelists. Like Ryan, who tweeted the day before, quote, "Feminists value access to birth control, the morning after pill, and abortion," end quote. After all, in a November Daily Beast story headlined, "Trump is proof feminism isn't free," Ryan wrote that, quote, "millennial women grow up taking certain fruits of previous waves of feminism for granted, including the right to choose." Never mind her theory on what's the best age to have an abortion. Spoiler alert, she says it's 25. Or Greer could have asked Gloria Steinem, a leader of today's feminist movement who declared reproductive freedom, specifically abortion, a fundamental right. She could have asked the feminist media like The Guardian columnist Jessa Valenti, who announced that partnering with an anti-choice women's organization, quote, "bolsters those who harm us," or Jacqueline Friedman of The Guardian and Time, who wrote, "anti-abortion equals anti-woman," or Broadly editor Lauren Euler, who tweeted, "You're not a feminist or at all smart if you don't support safe and legal access to abortion." Or how about Bustle, which published the piece, "Why You Can't Be Pro-Life and a Feminist?" For the answer to Greer's question, many of today's feminists need only look in the mirror, or in Greer's case, look at those around her. But instead, Greer accuses Conway of playing the crowd.
I mean, this is clearly her attempt to play to the crowd, but also we have to recognize that Kellyanne Conway knows that she's also in the weeds, and she's possibly on her way out. So I think she's just trying to have that last grasp of relevance in some capacity, and possibly, I mean, she's a smart woman, to set herself up for possibly the next gig, because I can't see this gig lasting very long.
To continue the conversation, Melber played another clip of Conway where she, in his words, spoke about whether women have a problem with women in power.
Mercedes, I look at myself as a product of my choices, not a victim of my circumstances. And I would just say, I mean, one thing that's been a little bit disappointing and revealing is that I hope will get better is, turns out there are a lot of women who just have a problem with women in power. You know, this whole sisterhood, this whole let's go march, for women's rights, and just constantly talking about what women look like or what they wear, or making fun of their choices, or presuming that they're not as powerful as the men around. This presumptive negativity about women and power, I think, is very unfortunate.
And you guessed it, the panelists had an answer for that too.
Some women do have problems with women in power, but I just have problems with dopey people in power.
And then she went back to Conway's comment on feminism.
And also, just to go back to that point about feminism meaning anti-male and pro-abortion, no woman that I've ever known, including myself, is pro-abortion. All we are is pro-women having choices.
She obviously hasn't read the Salon piece, I am pro-abortion, not just pro-choice, 10 Reasons Why We Must Support the Procedure and the Choice by Valerie Tirico.
No one wakes up in the morning, any of you go, hey, let's get an abortion. It doesn't happen. And I hate hearing that. I really resent that.
Maybe she forgot about leftist kook Lena Dunham, who said that she wishes she had an abortion. Oh wait, how could Erin Gloria Ryan have forgotten that? She wrote an article about exactly that and had no word of correction for Giles. Instead, she responded with this.
That's one of the greatest hits of the right trying to disparage feminism.
Here's the deal, guys. The right doesn't even need to try to disparage feminism. The hypocritical liberal lunatics are doing a great job all by themselves. So while today's feminists say they stand for all women, their actions and their words tell a way different story.
You are watching HighImpactFlix. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For bonus information and additional content, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/HighImpactFlix, on Twitter at HighImpactFlix, and now on Instagram at HighImpactFlix. Remember, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people will secure their own oppression. I'll see you guys in the next video.